Life just put you on blast. It exposed you. It called you out. It dragged every excuse, every delay, every hesitation you've been hiding behind straight into the light. And you felt it. You felt that sting in your chest, the sting of knowing you've been playing small while life has been demanding something much bigger from you. This isn't a season where your power is a luxury. This isn't a moment where your potential is something you get to explore when you're ready. No. Your power is no longer optional. Your willingness is no longer optional. Your capacity is no longer optional. The world has already issued the call, the pressure is already on, and whether you like it or not, life has placed you center stage and said, "Your move." You know exactly what I'm talking about. That voice in you that keeps saying you're capable of more. That wasn't your imagination. That was truth trying to get your attention. And every time something falls apart, every time something forces you to stand up, every time something shakes you out of your comfort zone, that's life increasing the volume. Because you weren't listening when it whispered. You tried to ignore it when it nudged. So now it's shouting. Now it's flipping tables. Now it's stripping away everything you used to lean on, so you finally realize that the person you've avoided becoming is the person you were always meant to be. There comes a moment when life stops negotiating with you. It stops giving you the easy route. It stops letting you hide. It stops letting you coast. It stops letting you be comfortable. And that moment is here. That moment is now. You can feel it. You can sense the urgency in the air. You can sense the shift happening inside you. You can sense the old you decaying while the new you pushes, kicks, and fights to come through. You've outgrown your old patterns. You've outgrown your old excuses. You've outgrown your old limitations. But you've been pretending you haven't. You've been pretending you're still that person who needed permission. That person who needed someone to save them. That person who wasn't sure. That person who didn't have the courage to step fully into who they are. That version of you expired. Life is not going to let you wear that identity anymore. You may think you're being punished. You may think everything is falling apart because you did something wrong. But no, life is not punishing you. Life is provoking you. Life is expanding you. Life is forcing you to become someone who can handle what you've been praying for. You said you wanted growth. You said you wanted transformation. You said you wanted breakthrough. And then life said, "Prove it." You cannot become powerful without pressure. You cannot evolve without disruption. You cannot rise without something forcing you upward. And right now, whether you're ready or not, life is forcing you upward. Don't you realize? Every challenge you're facing is exposing muscles you didn't know you had. Every hardship is uncovering layers of resilience you didn't know were in you. Every disappointment is pushing you away from dependence and into self-dominion. You're being shaped, molded, tempered, strengthened. You are being prepared to carry everything you used to think you weren't worthy of. You're being positioned to lead in ways you thought weren't meant for you. You're being pushed to shed the version of yourself that kept your destiny waiting. You've been softening your own power because you were afraid of how people would react if you finally stopped dimming yourself. You've been lowering your voice because you didn't want to intimidate anyone. You've been shrinking because you didn't want to be misunderstood. You've been stepping aside so others could feel comfortable. But your comfort has cost you your greatness, your potential, your calling, your purpose. And life has decided that the cost is unacceptable. You've been drafted into your own destiny. You don't get to step back into the shadows. Your power has been activated, whether you signed up for this moment or not. Do you know what happens when life exposes you? It forces you to confront the places where you've been denying yourself. The places where you've been relying on old strategies for new levels. The places where you've been hiding your brilliance under layers of doubt and fear. Life is not trying to embarrass you. Life is trying to raise you. But sometimes elevation feels like humiliation when you still identify with who you used to be. You don't get to say maybe later anymore. You don't get to negotiate with your potential anymore. You don't get to drift aimlessly while waiting for some magical sign that tells you it's time. The time is now. The sign is the struggle. The pressure is the confirmation. The discomfort is the invitation. The breakdowns are the training. The uncertainty is the path. The chaos is the catalyst. Everything you're experiencing is proof that your old life can no longer contain you. There's a version of you that terrifies you because you know how unstoppable it would be. You can feel that version of you asking to be born. You can feel the old limitations falling off. You can feel courage starting to rise in places where fear used to live. You can feel clarity forming in spaces where confusion used to dominate. You can feel strength moving through you in ways you can't even explain. And the truth is, you're not becoming someone new, you're remembering who you always were before the world convinced you to doubt yourself. When life puts you on blast, it's because you've been hiding too effectively. You've been convincing yourself that you're not ready, that you don't deserve more, that you're too flawed to lead, too broken to rise, too inexperienced to dominate. But those were lies. Convenient lies. Lies that allowed you to delay your evolution. But life is tired of your delays. Life is tired of your excuses. Life is tired of your self-betrayal. So it has removed your illusions one by one. That is what this season feels like, your illusions collapsing. You think you're losing things, but you're actually being freed. You think you're being abandoned, but you're being redirected. You think you're failing, but you're being summoned. There is something you are meant to do. Something you are meant to build. Something you are meant to impact. something you are meant to shift. And it requires a version of you that you've been afraid to meet. But guess what? Life just dragged that version out of you by force. Every painful situation you've been through has been refining you. Every person who walked away created space you needed. Every closed door was a compass pointing you toward a higher path. Every disappointment stripped away attachments that were draining your power. Every setback was a setup to push you toward self-responsibility. You needed these moments. You may not like them, you may not have asked for them, but you needed them. Because without these disruptions, you would have stayed the same. And staying the same is the one thing life will no longer allow. Your calling is not passive. Your purpose is not optional. Your power is not decorative. It's functional. It's needed. Something bigger than you is depending on you. And life is not going to let you sit it out. There are people you're meant to help. Lives you're meant to influence. Opportunities you're meant to seize. Cycles you're meant to break. Legacies you're meant to build. And your hesitation has already delayed enough of it. This season is not here to comfort you, it's here to activate you. That's why everything feels so intense. That's why you keep feeling this inner pressure. That's why nothing in your life feels the same anymore. You're evolving, and evolution always feels like destruction before it feels like power. You are breaking out of the psychological cages you've been living in. You are dismantling the internal narratives that were written for you by fear, by trauma, by doubt, by other people's limits, and it doesn't matter how overwhelmed you feel. Power doesn't care about your comfort level. Destiny doesn't care if you're scared. Purpose doesn't care if you feel unprepared. Life will introduce you to your own strength whether you consent or not. It will position you for greatness before you think you're qualified. It will throw you into responsibilities that force you to grow in directions you didn't think possible. And in the moment it might feel like you're drowning, but what's actually happening is you're learning how to breathe in deeper waters. You have survived every version of struggle that was meant to break you. You have endured every chapter that tried to convince you to quit. You have risen from places that would have kept other people stuck. You have walked through storms that weren't designed for ordinary people. The fact that you're still here means you are built differently. Life doesn't pressure fragile things. Life pressures powerful things. Life doesn't push people who aren't capable of rising. Life puts pressure on those who can handle elevation. And that's you. The sooner you accept that you are chosen for something heavy, the sooner you'll understand why your journey has been anything but average. Your path has been unconventional because you were never meant for ordinary outcomes. You were shaped in adversity because your destiny requires durability. You were stretched emotionally because your capacity needed expansion. You were isolated at times because your alignment couldn't be built in the crowd. You were challenged repeatedly because your character needed sharpening. Nothing you experienced was wasted. Every moment was training. This is the season where you stop shrinking. This is the season where you stop apologizing for your intensity. This is the season where you stop pretending you're confused about who you are. You're not confused. You're cautious. And life has just removed your reason to be cautious. You don't have the luxury of playing small anymore. You don't have the luxury of waiting for everyone to approve of your evolution. You don't have the luxury of delaying your mission because you're scared of stepping into leadership. Leadership is not about feeling ready. Leadership is about showing up regardless. People will misunderstand you. Let them. People will judge you. Let them. People will doubt you. Let them. Your job is not to cater to their comfort, it's to rise to your calling. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. You are not here to make yourself digestible. You are here to embody the fullness of your strength. You are here to disrupt patterns, challenge norms, shatter ceilings, and break cycles. You were not placed on this earth to blend. You were placed here to blaze. You can no longer afford to let fear negotiate your future. Fear does not get a vote. Doubt does not get a seat at the table. Insecurity does not get to dictate your potential. You've spent too much time feeding the thoughts that weakened you. Too much time nurturing wounds that should have been allowed to heal. Too much time replaying past failures instead of building future victories. You've been loyal to your pain for far too long. It's time to be loyal to your power. Your story is not going to be remembered for the chapters where you were confused, broken, or lost. Your story will be remembered for the moment you decided that your potential mattered more than your excuses. That your purpose mattered more than your fear. That your growth mattered more than your comfort. That your destiny mattered more than your doubt. And that moment is this moment. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now, this is the turning point where you decide to stop surviving and start dominating. Where you decide to stop hoping and start executing. Where you decide to stop waiting and start creating. Where you stop telling the world what you might do someday and show the world what you're doing right now. Life has already exposed you. You might as well rise boldly, loudly, unapologetically into the power that's been sitting inside you all along. Everything you think you lack is simply something you haven't activated yet. Everything you think you're missing is something you're meant to build. Everything you feel intimidated by is something you're destined to master. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are being aligned. Prepared. Elevated. Life is calling you to a higher level of ownership of your choices, your mind, your discipline, your energy, your habits, your future. You don't get to drift anymore. You don't get to sleepwalk through your destiny. You don't get to waste time pretending you don't know what needs to be done. You know exactly what needs to be done. you're just not used to choosing yourself at full volume. But this season requires consequences. This season requires conviction. This season requires self-command. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be committed. You don't have to know the whole path. You just have to take the next step. You don't have to feel powerful. You just have to stop abandoning yourself every time things get uncomfortable. Your power doesn't show up when things are easy. Your power shows up when you decide to keep going even when everything inside you wants to stop. You are more capable than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. The potential you've been sensing is real. The fire you feel inside is real. The hunger you can't ignore is real. The visions you keep having are real. They're not fantasies, they're previews of the future that is waiting for your courage. You are stepping into a season where your internal world can no longer contradict your external reality. You must become who you were meant to be. Not later, now. Not partially, fully. Not when everything lines up, while nothing makes sense. Growth comes before clarity. Courage comes before confidence. Commitment comes before capability, and here's the truth, nobody is coming to save you. They were never supposed to. Not because you're alone, but because saving yourself is the very process that activates your gifts. You save yourself by deciding that your dreams matter. You save yourself by refusing to settle. You save yourself by breaking your own limits. You save yourself by demanding more from your life. You save yourself by stepping into the arena even when you're shaking. You save yourself by refusing to be defined by who you were instead of who you're becoming. Life just exposed you, but not to shame you, rather to unveil you. To reveal what you've been hiding from. To show you the truth of your strength. To push you into your next level. To free you from the version of yourself you outgrew long ago. There is a fire in you that is too big to keep pretending you don't feel it. There is a calling in you that is too loud to ignore. There is a future waiting for you that is too powerful to delay any longer. Stand up. Step forward. Speak boldly. Move decisively. Your power is no longer optional. Your transformation is no longer negotiable. Your destiny is no longer waiting for you to feel ready. It is happening now. And you either rise with it or get left behind by the life that was meant for you. You're not here to be small. You're here to be undeniable. Life has put you on blast. Now it's your turn to answer with action. Your courage is the response. Your discipline is the response. Your intensity is the response. Your commitment is the response. The version of you the world has been waiting for is emerging right now. And whether you whisper it, shout it, or declare it with every step you take, the message is the same.